Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another Bitcoin mining video. This time talking about the S9 ANTMINER at 7 weeks of profitability. As you guys know, I've been following along with the S9 ANTMINER now over the last 7 weeks, looking to see if it's a viable investment or not. As you guys know, the S9 ANTMINER is one of the most powerful pieces of Bitcoin mining hardware, dedicated hardware for the enthusiast, for the at-home miner. And in taking a look at the piece of equipment, I've been following along an algorithm that will configure a payback period, essentially the number of days that you need to mine with equipment 24/7 before your costs are paid off and you start making money. Essentially, you have a positive return on investment. That payback period is quite complex. The algorithm has a number of variables that are configured into that, which I like to take a look at just to remind you guys what's actually going into that payback period. You can see it takes into consideration the upfront costs. You can see here currently the S9 ANTMINER is listed at $14.15 USD. That's if you buy it directly from the manufacturer, but it's very difficult to do because there's a lot of back orders on a lot of this equipment, especially as the price of Bitcoin has spiked up. Most of these are sold off. You can buy on pre-order. I put out a couple videos talking about why that's probably not a great idea, but you can pick these up secondhand. I've also put out some videos talking about buying these pieces of equipment off eBay. And unfortunately, you probably can't buy it for $14.15. You're probably looking more at $1,800 for a cheap price, if not up to $3,000 to $4,000 for some of this equipment. So that price has definitely went up as the price of Bitcoin has went up. So take that into consideration as well when you're configuring that payback period. And you can go ahead and put in individual numbers. These are pre-configured, but you can go in and change the initial upfront cost, the power, the electricity cost, so on and so forth, to get your own payback period depending on your machine, because not every machine is going to run optimally. Some will use a little bit more electricity than others, and some will have a different hash rate. Even though the rated electricity use and hash rate is on a machine, it doesn't guarantee that's how it's going to play out when you get your machinery. Just going back to that algorithm very quickly as well, you can see it configures the upfront cost, again, the miner, but you also need to buy electricity supply. The power in watts times the electricity cost will give you a power cost per day. Again, you can go in and individually select how much your electricity is. Depending on where you live, you may have a different electricity cost. Again, configure that power to how your machine is performing. The hash rate, that's how quickly the particular machinery can do calculations to get Bitcoin. Cryptocurrency mining is very, very complex, but essentially that hash rate compared to the overall hash rate will determine how quickly you can mine coins per week, per month, per year, so on and so forth. Take that times the price of Bitcoin will give you a return per day, which hopefully is greater than the power cost per day, and that will give you a payback period. And you can see on the bottom there, it also is nice with this particular calculator because it gives you a return per week, per month, per year, just to kind of show you some numbers about what you can earn, again, based off the current statistics, the price of Bitcoin, and what your hash rate is compared to the overall hash rate, and then also cost per gigahash, payback period, and annual return percentage. That's really configured to mining it 365 days. For a period with the current statistics, you'll have a 308% return on money, which is excellent. But again, that's not going to happen because every day the payback period is going to be changing, and the goal for that payback period is for it to increase slower than the number of days that have elapsed. So right now, about 8 days ago, it's 110. So this is right on the money with regards to increasing. Unfortunately, you don't really want to see that because if the payback period increases just as quickly or more quickly than the days you're mining, it's essentially an algorithm you'll never be able to pay back. You'll never be able to pay back that piece of equipment because the payback period is increasing every day more than the time that has elapsed, if that makes sense. And you'll see on some of the less powerful pieces of equipment, the payback period is essentially infinity because you'll never be able to run it based off the power cost and price per coin to get your initial investment back. If we take a look at the price of Bitcoin, you'll really see why that payback period has increased. The price of Bitcoin has come back somewhat. And see if this graph will pull up here. There's not always... here we go. You can see the current price of Bitcoin, $61.5405. You can see that changing up top there, just because unlike the U.S. stock market, the Bitcoin markets are always open, which is kind of cool if you want to change, or excuse me, if you want to do some trading on the exchanges over the weekend. You can't do that on the U.S. stock market, unfortunately. And even in the evening or early AM, you can't do that either. On Bitcoin, it's essentially a 24-hour, 7 days a week type of market. You can see the market cap there, quite impressive actually, almost $103 billion. You can see the volume over the last 24, opening price over the last 24 hours, and then the low and high as well. And you can see it's quite large for a 24-hour period, going from 54 to 65. That's quite large. And at one point last week, the price of Bitcoin was up over $7,000. We can kind of see that here on the 1 week graph here. Hopefully this pulls up. It's having some difficulty connecting earlier. Maybe doing that again here. But you can see over the last week here, big swings in the price of the coin, which, you know, you can do some swing trading, day trading with Bitcoin as well. Very risky to do that. If you go to the bottom here as well, some more statistics about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. A nice little overview as well on the bottom here. But really, the takeaway from this is that there is a max supply, 21 million coins. Once that's reached, there's no more mining that's going to be happening. But the difficulty will increase the closer you get to that. So that will essentially decrease the amount of coins that your machine can make. And also that network hash rate on the bottom left there, 9.7 billion currently hash rate. That's also going to affect the profitability of your machine. Once that goes up, your effective contribution to that hash rate goes down, so you'll be able to mine less coins as well. So both of those things will impact the amount of coins your machine will make. You can see that here. As I was talking about, Bitcoin was actually over $7,500 before pulling back to $5,500. So you can see there, those wild swings are very good for folks who like to do day and swing trading on markets. Cryptocurrency is no different than the U.S. stock market. It's definitely a viable strategy. And some even think that going ahead and buying all the equipment really isn't necessary. Just buy some coins and then start doing some trading with those. Day trades, swing trades, or even a buy and hold strategy is viable. Let's go back to the miner very quickly here. So the S9 ANTMINER, very impressed so far. Over the last 7 weeks, that payback period has only increased about 8 days or so over 7 weeks. And most of that increase has been over the last day because of the falling price of Bitcoin. So far at 7 weeks, this is definitely a viable investment strategy. If you have the stomach to get into the market, get the upfront costs, which can be very risky. If you're okay with that, putting your money into those upfront costs and then mining this particular piece of equipment for 118 days currently, you'll make your money back. And then after that, it's pure profit. And you can see there the annual return percentage, 308%. That beats any stock market stock that I've seen, or index fund, ETF. So it's very viable, but again, very risky. If the price of Bitcoin crashes, that payback period will go up quite significantly. And also, the price here is 14.15, but really that's more like 2,000 or 3,000. So that payback period could be closer to 250 days than the 118 days displayed here. But if you got a machine, or you can get a machine that's relatively cheap, maybe on Craigslist or another format like that, definitely viable mining strategy. So Bitcoin mining with the S9 ANTMINER at 7 weeks has been a profitable endeavor so far. I'll be continuing to follow along. And then also there was a lot of mention about maybe doing Ethereum, Litecoin. So I'll definitely start talking about those coins as well. I've mined Litecoin in the past. I have some experience with that. I have 68 Litecoins that I recently threw into Coinbase's sister exchange to do some day and swing trading with. So I might put some videos out on that as well if there's some interest. Please let me know in the comment threads if you do have interest on that. Otherwise, the S9 ANTMINER at 7 weeks, definitely profitable. Again, the payback period, 118 days, up from 110, 111 just 8 days ago. So that is the S9 ANTMINER. Please let me know if you guys are mining. If so, what are some of the positives, negatives about mining versus just getting onto the exchanges, buying and selling coins? And what are some of the setbacks that you guys have experienced? So yeah, kind of that, not to make the video too long. As always, I want to thank you guys for all of the support on the channel. Definitely appreciate it. The channel is growing. I'm having a lot of fun putting out these videos. Hopefully you guys are learning, having some fun, following along as well. As always, if there's any great video ideas that you guys want me to put out, please let me know in the comment threads. And along with stock market investing, if there's any great stocks that you're taking a look at for doing some dividend capture, please let me know. Having a lot of fun, a lot of success with dividend capture. Definitely want to continue that. So please let me know your experience with dividend capture and what are some of the great stocks that you will be looking at this next week here. So yeah, kind of with that, I'll end the video, and we'll see you guys next time.